have you ever stopped to think about how your brain really understands something as simple as a square? I mean, you'd think it just sees four lines, four corners, and calls it a day. But it turns out there's something way, way more amazing going on. Groundbreaking research is showing us that our brains actually speak a hidden language, a language of pure geometry.
Okay, to see what I mean, let's dive right in with a quick puzzle. And trust me, this isn't just a fun little brain teaser. This is a window right into the wiring of your mind. So take a look at your screen. You're going to see two sets of shapes. In each one, your job is simple. Find the one that doesn't belong. Ready? Let's do it.
So I'm willing to bet you found the odd rectangle on the left almost instantly, right? But the irregular shapes on the right, yeah, that was probably much, much tougher. This is a real thing. It's called the geometric regularity effect, and it's a huge crew. For us humans, the error rate just plummets. It goes from over 40% with those messy shapes down to less than 5% with the nice, regular ones.
So, what's going on? Why is one so incredibly easy and the other so hard? Well, the answer reveals that our brains don't just have one system for seeing the world, they have two. One that we actually share with other animals, and another one that is uniquely and powerfully human.
Let's start with that first system. We can call it the primal eye. Think of it as our foundational vision system, the part that's just processing all the raw data that's flooding in from the world.
And here is where things get really, really interesting. When researchers gave this exact same puzzle to baboons, you know what happened? Absolutely nothing. The baboons showed zero regularity effect. For them, finding the odd regular shape was just as difficult as finding the odd irregular one. What that tells us is that our intuitive grasp of geometric perfection, well, it's not some basic animal instinct.
So this primal eye is basically a fast pattern recognition machine. It's not thinking in concepts, it's seeing the world in raw pixels and textures. It's the system that both we and the baboons are using, and it's actually a lot like how a standard AI vision system, what they call a convolutional neural network, learns to see. It's powerful for sure, but it's missing something. And that something brings us to the second system, a feature that really does seem to be just for us humans. Let's call this one the mind's geometer. See, when your brain looks at a perfect square, it isn't just registering a bunch of pixels. The mind's geometer goes so much deeper. It understands the idea of a square, the abstract rules and properties that make it a perfect square in the first place. Researchers think we use a kind of symbolic system for this, something they call a language of thought. So instead of storing a picture, your brain encodes a super compressed, rule-based description. A square isn't an image, it's a definition. 4 equal sides and 4 right angles. It's basically an algorithm, not just a picture. And this really gets to the heart of the whole idea. The researchers themselves say our brains have this separate code for geometry, one that's built on these tidy mathematical rules. And that is what makes our perception so different from a baboon's, or even a simple AI's. Okay, so this theory of two systems sounds great, right? But where's the actual proof inside the brain itself? Well, this is where the neuroimaging starts to get really, really cool. Now, get ready for something totally backwards from what you'd expect. Using fMRI scans, scientists saw that when people looked at these simple, perfect shapes, the part of the brain we normally use for seeing objects, the ventral visual cortex, that blue area there, it actually got less active. It went quiet. It's almost like the brain's basic vision system just said, "No, this is too simple for me. I'm passing this up the chain." And right as those visual areas were quieting down, a totally different network just lit up. Those parts you see in orange. You know what those are? Those are the brain's math circuits. They're the same areas that fire up when we're doing calculations or thinking about abstract ideas. The brain was literally treating the square like an equation, not a picture. A really clever analysis pretty much confirmed this split. It showed that the brain activity in the visual cortex on the left looked just like what a pixel-crunching AI would see. But the activity in the math network on the right, it was a perfect match for a model based on symbolic rules. We're literally looking at two different parts of the brain speaking two completely different languages to describe the exact same shape. It's amazing. So the brain scans show us where all this is happening. But to really prove there are two different stages, we also need to know when it's happening. For that, researchers turned to a different tool, one that can measure the timing of brain activity down to the millisecond. And what they found was this crystal clear timeline. Just 84 milliseconds, that's faster than a blink. After a shape appears, boom, the primal eye fires up in the visual cortex doing its basic pattern check. But then, a moment later, at around 232 milliseconds, the mind's geometer kicks in across that higher-level math network. analyzing the shape's abstract rules. It's a clear two-step process. First you see it, then you understand it.
So what does all this, the puzzle, the baboons, the brain scans, what does it all really tell us about the way we think? Let's try and pull this all together.
Well, we've learned that seeing a shape isn't just one thing. It's a duet between two systems. We've got the fast, primal eye that sees patterns, kind of like an animal or an AI. And then we have the slower, uniquely human mind's geometer that understands the abstract rules. And we know they live in different parts of the brain, and they work on different schedules. And maybe the coolest part, the beginnings of this mind's geometer are already there in 6-year-old kids, which suggests it's a fundamental part of our human blueprint. And this is why this is such a big deal. This ability to boil the world down into abstract rules and symbols, it's not just for geometry class. It's very likely the foundation for mathematics, for language, for logic, maybe for most of the cognitive skills that truly define us as a species. So the next time you just glance at a simple shape, take a second and remember what's really happening under the hood. You've got two incredible systems working together, one that sees the world and another deeper system that actually understands its rules.
We've just uncovered this incredible symbolic language our brain uses for something as basic as geometry. And it just makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other secret codes, what other hidden languages are our brains using right now to make sense of everything? Just waiting for us to find them.